Yes, I am
I
very
was just
well.
letting Ash. I was just letting Ash know when she comes on. I said, if you are on Ash, hit up and make sure that he remembers to come on tonight. But you remember last week we just didn't touch base with each other, so that was my mistake because I'm supposed to touch base with you to go over the topic to make sure that we know that we're on the same page. So that was my mistake.
Yeah. And it was mine too. Yeah, because it was a lot going on that day, and I meant to text you and say, "Hey, I can't get on tonight." And yeah, the
No worries.
life of
Listen,
a student.
we are adulting in life, be life in. So I think both of us were just caught up in the mix. It was a lot going on for both of us. So I'm just glad that we were able to connect tonight. And last week was
Yes.
fine. It was smooth sailing. We didn't stay on too long. We got straight to the topic, no chaser, and it was nice. We had a little crowd on.
Okay.
It was nice. So
When
it
you
was nice. We got straight to it.
you said shot no. Okay.
Yeah, shot no chaser.
No
We got
chaser.
straight to it. Look, when you're not on,
Mhm.
I have to like be reminded that I don't have someone I can bounce ideas off of. So I'm not like talking to anyone except like people in the chat, but I have to wait for them to actually type the message. So it's kind of like I'm just sitting here like so so
I
I
get
wrapped it
it.
up. It was a Reynolds wrap last week. Let's just say that. I got straight to the point, no chaser, and then we wrapped it up and then we left. So
Okay. Okay.
anyway, so let's go ahead and jump right in. If it's your first time here, welcome. If not, welcome back. I'm Ashley Anye, an intuitive alchemist and energy reader. And I'm just here to help y'all heal. And we're healing with humor because laughter is always the best medicine. Talk to these people, babe.
I am B. I am a goon. I am tonight's go-go dancer for the spiritual team. No,
No,
just kidding. Just kidding. But I am a tool that spirit will use as spirit pleases. So you will see me operate in a multitude of gifts. Um, just a multitude of gifts at any given moment in time, however spirit leads me. But as Ashley stated, we are here to simply help you heal. Whether we are going to hold those hands, baby, we might have to pop those hands. We're going to make you laugh. We're going to make you dance. But overall, we're going to help you get to where you're supposed to be, according to the spiritual law of you.
that's right. That's right. And just to build off of what B said, we are here simply to help you heal. We are not going to do the healing work for you. We're here to give you the tools that you need to take that leap, to take that jump, to take that step so that you guys are able to heal yourselves. So
Mm-hmm.
please be reminded of that. And that's why I always say get your snack, get your yak, get your notebook, because you will be needing to take notes on all of these spiritual downloads, these
Yes.
intuitive nudges. You will be needing to take notes so that you don't forget. And we also upload it at the end so you guys can go back and rewatch. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure you guys are sharing these videos. I have noticed that, hey, Ash, Gemini 2 times, hey, boo. Make sure you guys are sharing these videos. I have noticed that the self-help videos are being pushed down the algorithm and they're not being shared as much. They're not being, what's the Instagram terminology? They're not coming up in the feed as often. They're not showing up in the algorithm. So make sure you guys are sharing these videos because just like y'all like to see them booty shaking videos, y'all men, yeah. We need to see these videos, okay? Our spirit needs these videos, okay? So make sure you are sharing, liking, and commenting as well so that we know that what we're doing is not being done in vain. So let's jump right into tonight's topic. All right, if you guys were not able to peep the title, Feeling Stuck, here's what spirit is really doing. And I know we have all came to a point in our lives where we felt stuck. Nothing is working. We are literally bumping our heads against the wall. Money may be tight. We're in the same position we was in a year ago. So this episode is for you guys. That feeling when you feel like nothing is moving, nothing is working, and plans feel delayed. and you like Marvin Gaye. What's going on?
What's going
Hey,
on?
what's going on?
What's
You're trying to
going
figure out.
on?
You're trying to figure out, Spirit, am I being punished? Did I do something wrong?
What?
No, boo boo, you did nothing wrong. Unless you did something wrong. But if you're like the majority of us, you did nothing wrong. You are simply being stopped in your tracks so that Spirit can speak to you. And so often we get busy and we get lost in the thought and the hustle and bustle, the rat race, as they say in New York, and Spirit cannot speak to us. Spirit can't give us these downloads, these intuitive nudges, because we're running around like chickens with our head cut off. But when we stop, when we're stuck, when we have no place to go but to look up, that's when Spirit can speak to us. And that's when Spirit can let us know what we need to know in order to get over that hump, that learning curve, as they say in school, or just to get to that next level. So sometimes Spirit indefinitely has to stop us in our tracks. Sometimes Spirit has to dry that money up. Sometimes Spirit has to keep us in the same position in order to position us for a better position. And sometimes that may look like us being stuck. That may feel like our money drying up, or that may even sound like someone telling us, well, you're just not ready. Just be patient, pipe down. So let's get into tonight's topic, my beautiful people. When Spirit wants your attention, it does not always whisper. Oh no, this ain't the yin yang twins, okay? Spirit is going to speak loud and proud. And like I said earlier, this may look like plans falling through, opportunities pausing, your finances going, okay? And it's not to punish you, it's to pull you back, because somewhere along the line, hi Rillis!
I know.
Somewhere along the line, you drifted. Somewhere along the line, that moral compass was just like this. Instead of it being like this, or like this, or like this, it went like this. It just kept going every which way. Okay,
spinning around.
Okay, it kept spinning. And when it's spinning, you really don't know which way to go. And how can you definitively live a life of structure when your moral compass is like this? You don't know which way to go, right? And so Spirit says, pause. Before you go any further, come back to yourself. And remember, coming back to yourself is coming back to Spirit, to God, to whatever terminology you resonate with when it comes to a higher power. So when you come back to Spirit, you're coming back to yourself. All right? And here is the part that people do not like to hear, including me. I am guilty of this too, people. I'm guilty of this. Sometimes the blockage isn't external. Sometimes the blockage isn't external, it's internal. Excuse me. It's not always external. It's ignoring your intuition. It's moving off impulse when you need to be moving through alignment. It's choosing what looks good over what feels right. Let me say that again. It's choosing what looks good over what feels right. And this is why it is so important for you guys to be in tune with yourself and to know thyself, because yourself is never going to steer you wrong. Your intuition, your gut, that intuitive nudge is never going to steer you off course. That's your intuition. That's your gut. That's your higher self, always leading you to the promised land, okay? Never not listen to that. That's always your higher self, that Spirit telling you what you need to do. All right. It also can look like you even entertaining situations that you already outgrown. I know people have been guilty of that. I've been guilty of that. Everyone's been guilty of that. And so when that happens, Spirit is like, no, because I'm not in confusion. God is not in confusion. You know, God is not the spirit of confusion. And so that's when Spirit is like, all right, so you're not going to listen. I'm going to take away what you need, what you like, what you value, what you praise, you know, what you don't want to let go of. And that's why all these things start tumbling down and you have those tower moments, because that's the only way for Spirit to get your attention when things go wrong. Most of the time, that's the only time when we look up when everything going wrong,
exactly.
Right? So let me say it again. Spirit is not found of confusion. Spirit is fond fond of confusion. Spirit is not fond of confusion. All right. So you are not going to find any clarity in confusion. You're not going to find any stability in confusion. You're not going to find anything that is stable or anything that is going to have longevity in confusion. All right. So that's why you guys have to be conscientious about meditating and being in alignment with yourself. All right. So what happens then? Once these things happen, your money slows down, the doors don't open, things feel heavy, and it's not because you're not blessed, it's because you're being redirected. It's not because you're not blessed, it's because you're being redirected. And a lot of us get that confused. We think all these things are going wrong because we're either cursed, somebody done hexed us, we did something wrong. No, it's in order for us to get redirected. Hi, Soraya, back to source. All right. These are the spiritual checkpoints that Spirit wants to bring us back to. All right. These are things that Spirit is asking us. Are you still living in integrity? Are you still walking in truth? Are you still walking in your purpose? Are you still aligned with your purpose? It's one thing to walk in your purpose and be aligned in your purpose, because you can walk in your purpose but not be aligned in it. What's what I mean by that? You can be on the right path to where you need to go, but you're not going there. You're not quite there yet. So these are all the things that Spirit is asking you. Are you making decisions from your higher self, or are you making decisions off of temporary emotion? And that's a question that you need to be consciously asking yourself. Are you making decisions from your higher self or off temporary emotions? And what's what I mean by that? If you're in a financial bind and you're thinking about how you can get money, not just money, but quick money, that's a temporary emotion. You're not thinking about longevity. You're not thinking about putting yourself in a position to where you can work a job that will give you that money the long way. You're thinking about, okay, let me get this cash advance right quick. That's the short way. That's a temporary emotion, all right? Now, sometimes we got to get that when we got to get that. Yes. By all means, any means necessary. Yes. But if you're talking about longevity, you got to put yourself in a position to make money that's going to continuously make you money, not just something that's going to make you money right then and there. That's what I'm talking about. Because when you are aligned, things flow. Let me say that again. When you are aligned, things flow. When you are walking in your purpose, I guarantee you, signs, sealed, and delivered. I am a witness of this. I'm a witness of this. You don't have to worry about money because you're in your purpose. And so Spirit is going to supply every need. When you are aligned, things flow perfectly. And not so much perfectly, but naturally. Things flow naturally. Doors open. You walk in rooms that are filled with people that can help you, that can help catapult you to that next level, that know people that know people that know people that can get you into other rooms that can help you. So it's all about staying aligned and walking in your purpose. And you don't have to force it. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to beg. And that's how you know that something is for you, when you don't have to force it, when you don't have to chase it, and when you don't have to beg. Because begging, chasing, and forcing are all out of alignment. You shouldn't have to chase your dream. You shouldn't have to force a connection. You shouldn't have to beg someone to hire you. That is out of alignment. Anything that is for you is not going to be easy, but it's going to flow effortlessly.
Yes, it is.
It's not going to be easy. Nothing is easy, but it's going to flow effortlessly. All right. So if you're feeling stuck right now, if you are watching this and you're feeling stuck right now, you need to ask yourself this. What is Spirit trying to get me to sit down to actually listen to? What is Spirit trying to get me to sit down and actually listen to? Where have I been moving too fast without clarity? Where have I been moving too fast without clarity? And last but not least, what feels off that I have been trying to ignore? Because anytime something is not right, we're always going to feel it before it actually comes out in our emotions or comes out as an action. So we always feel it first, right? When you're sick, you always feel the emotions. You get a stuffy nose, you start sneezing, coughing, and then like you're diagnosed or whatnot. So ask yourself, what feels off that you've been ignoring? What interactions feel forced? What job is like just not working out? It's not aligning with my purpose. What connections feel forced? Ask yourself these questions, and I guarantee you, when you start being honest with yourself, you'll have the answer, and spirit will provide for you the next option on what you need to do. Your next game plan, I should say. All right. And all of that is going to come from alignment, from being in alignment. So yeah, that's all I have. Please make sure y'all save that section of the live to where you can ask yourself those questions. Even if you have to ask yourself those questions every single morning, just to make sure that you stay on track, because it's so easy to get caught up in the rat race and get caught up in a perpetual cycle of, okay, I got to do this, then I got to do that, then I got to do this. Got to do this, got to do that, got to do this. And before you know it, 40 years have passed and you still doing that, this, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, where has the time go? The time goes so fast. 40 years have passed and you still doing the same different day. So make sure that you are doing a temperature check also on yourself, but on your life. Do a temperature check on your life as well. And last but not least, before I get to you, bestie, sometimes the breakthrough isn't just in doing more. It's in sitting still. I talked about this on YouTube, actually. It's about sitting still, being honest with yourself, reconnecting with your intuition, and correcting your direction. So sitting still is not always a bad thing. We're made to believe that when we sit still, we're lazy, we're not doing nothing, we good for nothing. No, sitting still sometimes is the best thing we can do, because we're able to listen to spirit and hear spirit clearly, because we're not distracted and we don't have a bunch of ish, happening that's taking our focus off of self or off of spirit. So sometimes we need to sit still, just so we can hear that download from spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, really, absolutely.
Always. You got to always be in progression, be willing to grow, and take care of your well-being. For sure, cheesy.
That's my best friend. Go, my best friend. Go, bestie. That's my bestie. Hey, because she did that. Let me tell y'all, she is all up in the kitchen cooking tonight. Y'all already know. She was cooking tonight.
This topic was near and dear to me, because I think we all have been there. We all have felt stuck and felt like we were either being punished. That was the first time I was ever able to see Doggy cook.
That's what I was like. I was like, even Mimi was like, yes, she did. Look, now she's
Doggy Mimi has never made an appearance.
She hasn't.
Oh my God.
She hasn't.
Never. So even Mimi was feeling that topic.
Come here. Say hi to the people.
Go, Mimi.
No, now she's trying to play with her toys, child.
But listen, have you ever noticed that whenever you go live, your pets always tend to come around you? Because my cat does that. Every time I go live, my cat tends to come near me for some reason. It's weird. It's like he knows that I'm getting ready to drop it like it's hot. So yeah, so that's all I have, guys. Okay, please start watching how you move, and once you watch how you move, you'll be able to watch how many doors open. All right, how your money starts to flow, and how clarity starts to hit you out of nowhere. Why? Because you are connected to your higher self. All right?
Yeah.
That's all I got.
So listen, because I had some points too, based off of what you were saying. I was like, Ashley is in here eating tonight. She don't even know that she was in direct alignment with things that happened with me over the weekend. We have not talked, people. We have not talked. So over the weekend, I said I need to go to my store. Soraya has been to my store, so she knows what I'm talking about. Ash, you got to come to the Ville so I can take you to the store, girl. I'm trying to tell you. Not anywho, but either who. I went there, and I've been collecting charms here and there. And I heard my grandmother say, get a compass charm. So when you was talking about the compass, I said, "Girl!" I wrote down compass. I literally, that was the first thing I wrote. I was like, "Compass, come on," because and how I was seeing it in the vision was that with the compass, you determine where you want to go. You determine how fast, how slow, if you're gonna go to the left, if you're gonna go to the right. And it was that moment that it says, now is the time for you to take control. So how are you going to do that, right? You have to be in direct alignment to hear when it's time for you to make the move and when you're waiting on spirit. Because some people, like you said, like spirit wants you to slow down, but spirit also wants you to find that balance of knowing when to take control of the situation, right?
Yeah.
Spirit doesn't want you to rely so heavily on spirit that you forget to be a human.
Right.
Don't be a walking living artificial intelligence human being out here in these streets, okay? That people gonna be pointing at you like that's AI, that's AI, because you just like you sitting there like this, and it's like I can't move because spirit ain't tell me to move yet, and spirit looking at you like my child, my child, my child, you are human first. Well, in this plane, you're human, right? But then you said something about returning to where sometimes you have to return to a state, right? And I thought about the prodigal son. Like Mimi, stop. Thank you. Um, Returning to that state, and if you think about the story of the prodigal son had everything. And he decided, hey, dad, I like your rules and everything, but I want to get my own riches and go out in these streets and be loose. And fast forward, he found himself in the gutter, basically, eating out the trash can, looking low. And he was like, why am I eating this trash when I got a rich daddy? You know, I came from money. Why am I just going to sit here and continue to deal with these trashy people, these trashy situations? Why am I going to continue here when I know there's an even more peaceful state of being? And so I wrote, when he returned home, mind you, his dad said, baby, we're going to give you the best of everything. We're going to clean you up and I'm going to throw you a party. And so I wrote, that is you returning to an empowered state. Some of you have to get back to that state of being empowered, of being around people that will pour into you. And sometimes that looks like going back home. There's nothing wrong with going back home. Sometimes, and let's be clear, I'm not saying that you have to move back home or to live home. Sometimes you just need to go back to your roots, honey. Sometimes you got to be connected. You got to stand on the soil that your ancestors stood in. That is why it is so powerful when you see people who say they've gone back to Africa and they just instantly start crying. It's because their ancestors are like, oh my gosh, my baby is home. Oh my gosh, we thought we lost you forever, and you have finally made it back home, and it's overwhelmingly joy because that presence is that now we can empower you the way you're supposed to be because you were supposed to be on this land in the first place. And now that you have returned, baby, we're gonna give you all the things. And when you go back to your home, you know, you go back with empowerment, right? You're not going to go back the same way. And then it took me to this song. So it's after midnight and she's on your phone saying come over cause she's all alone. I could tell it was your ex by your tone. Why is she calling now after so long? Now what is it that she wants? Tell me what is that she needs. Did she hear about that brand new Benz that you just bought for me? Cause y'all didn't have no kids. Didn't share no mutual friends. And you told me that she turned trick when y'all broke up in 96. So what you gonna do when you can't say no? When the feelings start to show? Boy, I really need to know when. How you gonna act? How you gonna handle that? What you gonna do when she wants you back? It's that chorus line for me.
Yeah.
So what you gonna do when you can't say no? When your feelings start to show? Spirit really need to know how you gonna act, how you gonna handle that, what you gonna do when that situation returns back.
That's right.
When you find yourself in that situation again, how are you gonna handle it this time? Ironically, I found myself in a situation that I was in last year. But not but I handled it so differently. Like I told Bestie, it was a few weeks ago. Remember when I said that somebody lied on me and I
Yeah.
handled it the way I was
Yeah.
supposed to? I handled it better than I would have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And how I handled it moving forward, when I realized what was happening, when I realized what the big situation was, the big picture was, I said, "Oh no, I'm not dealing with this, baby. I'm going to protect my peace. I will remove myself from the situation altogether." And so I did, fast. That is what happens when you learn, right? When spirit is
Mm-hmm.
trying to see what let me see if I'll put this situation again, let me see if they really learned the lesson the first time, or let me see if there's some things that they need to clear up or get clarified, or still need to learn, right? And so when you find yourself back in that situation and you're still doing the same things that you're supposed to learn, spirit's like, nope, they got to repeat that grade. Thought they learned a lesson. And so that is when you know you have grown, when you can successfully say, I handled it differently. I did it differently. Right. And so then I started thinking about I had random thoughts about chaotic energy, right? And I was just like, that chaotic energy is something else, baby. Like it is, woo. And I want to shout out to Queen Poe real quick. I don't know if y'all have seen her before, listened to her, but I tell you, Queen Poe is, I call Queen Poe like my little big sister, because I think I believe I'm older than her. Um, in human age, I believe I'm older than her, but she my big sister, and on the other side of things, because she be teaching me some things. Okay, let's be clear. But she had this guest speaker on, and they were talking about the chaotic energy. And they were saying that sometimes, even as a person of the light, you have to use that chaotic energy sometimes when you have tried everything and it's not working. When you've tried all the good stuff, then you might have to turn up the heat in the kitchen just a little bit, right? And when you turn up that heat in the kitchen just a little bit, that's when things start to move. It is the same thing when you're dealing with somebody and you're like, hey, stop hitting me, stop hitting me, stop hitting me. And I know I've seen this more so with my lady friends back in the day when that little boy was messing you and he kept pestering you. Then finally you said, man, I told you to stop, leave me alone. When you turned up the heat, guess what he did? He stopped, right? So that's what spirit is saying, is that sometimes you have to turn up the heat on the situation. Sometimes you got to turn up on people for them to really get it. Sometimes when spirit want to see how, what is that song? How bad do you want it? Spirit is like, how bad do you want it? Let me see if you're gonna turn up the heat, or you just gonna come. You're gonna come mediocre to a fight.
Yeah.
So when you turn up the heat, baby, guess what? It's the things got to shift. The things got to turn. And then don't try to balance something you need to let go of. I forgot what you said, Ash, but it was something that you said, and I said yes. Because when it's time to, I believe you said it, sometimes you just got to let things go. I believe is what you said. But you just got to let it go. And what most people try to do is, oh, I know what it was. Um, the thing that I let go. So I had an opportunity that I wanted to do, but I was holding up the opportunity because I said, "Oh, but I'm doing this already. So how can I do this if I'm already doing this at the same time? I got to figure out how to make that work." And spirits is like, that doesn't make sense. Let this thing go so that you can do this. Like, that's like you saying, I need a new pair of shoes, but every time you go out, you don't go to the shoe store because you want to hold on to the same old shoes that you keep wearing. Eventually, you got to get rid of those old shoes so that you can create space for the new shoes. What TLC said: erase, replace, new face, embrace. Okay, I'm gonna live by that. Okay. And then the last thing was, don't get caught up in what in the world? Oh, the patterns. Don't get caught up in the patterns. Don't find yourself in these cycles because you decided that you don't want to learn the lesson. Understand what the patterns are. Understand what your habits are. That's another part of being self-aware. Because when you understand that something, like I said earlier, when that person keep pestering you, are you gonna say the first time, "Yo, get off me," or are you gonna say, "Get off me, stop, get off me," and wait till the 30th time that the person is doing it, and then you turn up? Because like, no, spirit is like, no, address that thing head on the first time. Get out of your typical patterns. It's not switching up. I heard somebody say switching up. I promise you, I heard somebody say switching up. It's not switching up. It is not switching up. You are telling them that I am no longer going to take it the first time. This is like what they say in the dating world. You show people how to treat you. In them first stages of dating, when y'all going out on dates, if that person says something out the way, check it right then and there, sis. Check it right then and there, bro. We're not gonna talk like that around me. We're not talking no negative talks over here. Don't be speaking that over me. Right? Because we take it as a joke sometimes. See? But yeah, don't be taking it as a joke. Sometimes you gotta address. It's like the hammer to the nail of the head on. Put the head of the hammer on the nail. Bam. Yeah. Knock it in there the first time.
Yep.
We're gonna get into these cards. That's good. Because I promise
and you. While Bestie is preparing the cards, just so y'all know, he is doing a general reading. This is general for the collective, meaning it is for everyone. It may or may not hit. It may or may not resonate. If you guys want a personal one-on-one reading, you are able to do that. After the general reading wraps up for $11.11, $11.11. I will put his Cash App in the chat, and you guys can send that over if you want a personal one-on-one reading with Magoon.
The way
Be Royal too. Be Royal too.
Yes. Right? Yep. The way these cards flew out, I almost read one of the cards. We gonna see what's going on, child, because it's something happening in the mix. Uh, oh, so yeah, that's it. This goes just like that. These go together. Okay. Cause yes, the other thing about when you address that thing the first time, you don't have to worry about, I will call it spiritual haziness, like a spiritual fog. You know how some people get the brain fog, and they be talking about like, I can't remember this and I can't remember that. No, it's like when you address it, you clear out the space, you clear out the things. Also, I would suggest getting an orange candle and burning it, because baby, that is the roll opener candle. Baby, them things work. If you never, I'm gonna say this. I was listening to, there's a few people online that I listen to, and one of the ladies I was listening to, she began to say, and I have said it on this channel, so it was only, I mean, it was something I already knew. She began to say, fire is your element. You may not be a fire sign, but fire is your element, and you need to use it. And I've often said, I've always been attracted to the flame, honey. Always been attracted to that good flame. And so I did a road opener, had a road opener candle, and baby, the clarity start coming in, because that's what I wanted. I wanted some clarity on some things. Even get answers to on one of my alive family members, on a family member I never met, who did what I was doing. Wait, did what I am doing now. There we go.
Okay.
I was like, see, this is generational. This is the generational. I don't know why I can't talk right now.
Generational, yeah.
Okay, I got one more card trying to come out. Oh, there we go, baby. Let's see. I haven't even processed all the cards. I just pulled them out. So the first one that came back was betrayal, deceit, backstab, traitor, not to be trusted. This is the energy that we had. I'm not going to say that we've been in, but that's been circulating around us lately, right? And that's what's been having us stuck, because we're trying to play. I'm seeing Inspector Gadget. I really was not trying to say Inspector Gadget, but I'm seeing Inspector Gadget. And we got all the things, we get all the tools, and we trying to look at every angle as to why this thing happened. And Spirit is like, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. What you do need to do is you just need to kick the situation to the curb.
Oh.
Like I said, address it the first time. Kick it to the curb.
Damn.
Why are you going to kick it to the curb? Kick that whole situation and everybody involved to the curb. Why? Because there is an announcement coming. There's an expectation. What else does it say? Expression, revealing. It says there's a recording. And I'm going to say this. So I was last night, if y'all saw my clip from early this morning, I had to check the time. Yeah, early this morning, y'all would have saw that I was on my way to sleep, and something came across my Facebook profile, and I was like, all right, let me listen to it. And this lady, I don't know how much of y'all have been listening and watched the whole Greek world thing, but I'm a paraphrase. I'm gonna try to shorten the story. Long story short, the regional, aka sorority, invited Trick Daddy to their conference. Now we all know Trick Daddy. For those of us who know Trick Daddy, I said, what? Okay,
Trick Daddy?
Right. So they cut him his performance short, kicked him out, and said, "We apologize. We had a contract." He didn't abide by the contract. He came back with like 5, 6 videos to address it. He was like, "I love the AKAs, but that woman right there, I don't like her because this is not what we discussed." It's like, ooh. But I bring that up because the lady that whose video I was watching last night or early this morning was addressing that, and she began to talk about how that woman, she sat next to this woman, and how she was being nice to her and nice to her and nice to her, and when people begin to give her accolades and praise her, sing her praises, the woman start to look at her nasty and treated her nasty almost instantly. And she said she was going to do something, and she was like, "Nope, don't do it. I'm gonna let God handle it." And she said, "I even talked to my mom about it. My mom said, hey, karma's gonna get her, right?" And then she said, the thing is, she said, "Now this woman did this thing to me." She said, "But God used Trick Daddy to expose her openly." And I said, "That's it. That is it. That is it." So the announcement, the recording is that whatever, and if you saw the video, you're gonna get a repeat. I mean, technically it's the same day. Whatever they did to you in private will be exposed openly.
Woo!
I'm gonna say that again. Whatever they did to you in private will be exposed openly. And you may not even hear about it. You may see the recording of it, just like this lady did. She wasn't aware of what happened. She was like, her husband said, "Hey, have you been on social media?" She was like, "No, what's going on?" He said, "I think you should open up your social media." He said, "I sent you the video." And she said that's how she saw it. So you're gonna be doing your own thing, and then all of a sudden you're gonna catch wind of something happening to the person that did something to you, that had been tormenting you, and they're gonna be exposed. Now, for some of you, it will be for what they did to you exactly. And for others, it's going to be the same situation that they have been doing. They're going to get caught up in it and be exposed for who they are.
DMV.
And then these 2 cards came out next. Now, mind you, I told you, as I'm pulling the cards and reading them, I'm pulling them in real time. These 2 cards fell out at the same time. This one says investigating, and the next one says bad choices. This person is being investigated for the bad choices that they did. Those bad choices was involving you in their mess. Sometimes spirit will use karma to get back. When spirit said, this is why I said on this channel all the time, sometimes you don't have to get back. Just sit back and watch, let spirit do what spirit does best. Fight for you. Because if you try to do it, you're going to catch wind of what spirit is trying to do to that person. But if you sit back and just all right, I'm just going to let it. I'm just going to ride it out. I'm just going to ride the storm out. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to do nothing. Spirit is going to have your back and come for this person, as they said, to the full out extent in court. They're going to come for the billions, baby. That baby probably don't even have billions in their bank account, but they coming for billions. Okay, what they got down, what they making in the future, and what they make even in death, baby, your family won't even see that money. That money coming here. Okay, give me the shmoney. Okay, baby, y'all don't get that. Your person that leave you no legacy. They left you a bill, and now you got to pay them for what they did to you. I'm telling you, spirit got your back. Now let's get into the other cards, the clarifying cards. Again, I just pulled the cards. I haven't really paid attention to them. King of Pentacles. Waiting for your blessings, waiting for your finances, because you know it's coming. Like literally, this card is the king waiting. I don't think I've ever seen a King of Pentacles where the king is not facing you. This king is looking at the land. He's waiting. He's waiting for it to come in, right? And then the next is Four of Pentacles. And I'm hearing the word seasons. This king has been waiting for seasons for this thing to come in. So no matter the season of loss that you experience, it's been enough seasons for it to now. This is spring, baby. Spring brings newness. I'm gonna read this quote. I was in a meeting earlier and I had to read this quote, and I'm gonna read it to you all, because there's this quote I've been saying since undergrad, and I said, and it's, turning my dreams into reality. And this quote says, and this is a quote based off of today's date, mind you. A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat. I keep saying sweet. It's a minute. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. It's unknown. Why this fits today. As we move further into spring, this quote reminds us that the goals we set for the year require consistent effort today to bloom into reality later. It's a call to turn ambition into action. You've been waiting, and now it's coming. It's the spring is here. It's got to come forth. Shut the front door, my God, today. Ooh.
What?
For some of y'all, this is a relationship. For some of y'all, it's like many moons you've been single. And I said that because the Queen of Pentacles is here. The king had a loss, has been waiting many moons to meet his queen. And guess what? If you see it, she's coming towards him. I had to check. Yeah, she's on a path. She's coming towards him. It's not a lady in waiting no more. It's a man in waiting. Because you've been forcefully working and working and working and working and working, and you've been going through all these seasons by yourself, going through all this hell by yourself. And guess what? Finally, Spirit is like, I'm sending somebody your way that's going to help you. And both of you got the same goals and things in mind, because you're both royalty of the rulers of royalty. I mean, rulers of finances, rulers of what's the other words I say? Resources. There we go. You got everything you need. And when this person come in, bow. And then we got the Queen of Cups. That's Cancer energy. That is Cancer energy, honey. This Queen of Cups is like, baby, I can. She got her, as my mom would say, she got her hand on her person. Her hands is on her hip. I've been waiting. Finally, it's happening to me right in front of my face, and I am so excited. I believe is what it says. I just processed. And then right after the Queen of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles. I'm telling you, everything is happening. And this looks like it's the same woods as the King of Pentacles, just at the other end.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when you're walking back, when you're walking home, as we stated earlier, you're walking into miracles. You're walking into blessings. You're walking into financial situations. And again, for some of y'all, with somebody. Solidified. Last card here is the Seven of Pentacles. You already have everything you need. You waiting on this person so they can help you utilize what you already have so you can maximize your product and get that big return of investment.
Mm.
Yes, your business partner is on the way. Clarify that what you went through was only setting you up for your blessing. While this person is getting exposed based off of what you did, what they did to you, you turn your back on the situation. You stay focused. You said, I'm doing me. I'm going this way. You can stay over there. And guess what? You're on the right path. And everything is lining up in your favor.
As it should.
I really am hearing right now that for some of you all, this Queen of Pentacles is really for some of y'all, this really is a business partner. It may not be a relationship like dating relationship. For some of you it is, but for others it's going to be a business partner where y'all are all on the same page. Y'all have the same vision, the same goals. It's like they finish your sentence. It's like, say if you had a dream to build a school and you just like, man, I really have, like, with everything that's going on, I'm really thinking about opening up a private, and this person say, school for the kids that can't get what they need out of these public school system. And you look at them like, how'd you know that's what I'm going to say? Because I had the same dream and I want to do the same thing. What do you have? And I'm going to show you what I get, and let's come together and make this thing a reality. And then you're just going to be happy because everything else is falling into place. You are going to be secure in your decisions. That's what that Queen of Cups is all about. You're going to be secure and content with your decisions because you know that you're making the right decisions. Bottom of the deck. Five of Wands. Mm-hmm. The Five of Wands, remember what that is, right? Struggle. But you already been through the struggle. So it's only clarifying. Shut up. Y'all, the first cards that I pulled, it's exactly 5. I didn't even count it until now. 5 cards. I'm hearing for some of you 5 years, 5 months of struggle. And now it's over. Come on. Yes, rags to riches.
Okay. Let's claim it.
That's it, y'all. That's it.
Let's claim it. And I like what you said. Like, you have to know that the hard days are already behind you. Even if it feels like it's hard now, the hardest days are already behind you. It may be hard now, but the hardest days are behind you. So just know that your victory is coming. Your bag is coming. Your person is coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming because you put that work in. Okay? You did that inner work, and it's going to show on the exterior now. Spirit is about to bless y'all.
Yep.
Hard body. times 10 because y'all put that work in. And the work starts internally. When you do the work internally, it's going to show externally. I love that. The hardest days are already behind you. I like the bottom of the deck too, because it shows you that what you went through was not in vain. Now it's time for you to claim your victory.
It was the fertilizer to help you grow.
Not in vain. It helps you grow. And I like the other cards that you pull, especially the clarifier, because it shows you that whatever you went through, Spirit has to bring you through the trials and tribulations so that you can appreciate the victory. You wouldn't appreciate the victory had you not gone through all that ish.
Nope.
Now you appreciate where you are now because look how far you came.
Exactly.
Look what you had to go through to get here. But you had to go through all that to grow through all that. So appreciate all the trials and tribulations you went through, my beautiful soul family, because it brought you to this moment right here. Preparing to get your bag. Yes. Preparing to get your throne. Preparing to get your victory. I love that. I love that. Rags to riches. Those are my favorite stories. I don't like people, or not like people. I don't like hearing stories of people that were born into like wealth. I like hearing stories of getting out the mud, rag to riches, okay, so I can know what you really had to go through to get that bag. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing comes easy to the chosen one. We all know this, to the star seeds. Nothing comes easy for us. So if I know that you had to go through the trenches to get what you had to give, I know you a real one. I know that like you're solid because I know what you had to go through to get there. So I love that. I love that. Yo, that felt like a personal reading. I had to bite my tongue 99.9% of the time, but that felt like a personal reading because I'm honestly seeing that play out right now. I'm like witnessing that. That's why I said TMZ. I was like, yeah, everything is on Front Street now for everybody to see.
Okay.
TMZ. Everybody know what's going on. They gonna show you exactly why you are chosen one, why you are a star seed. I followed this young lady on Instagram. I forget her name. But she said that the star seeds always go through like public humiliation or like public agony, basically because our victory is going to be public as well. So they're going to see you struggle publicly, but they're going to also see you triumph
and
publicly as well.
Publicly.
And blow up and glow up. And they're going to appreciate and respect you more because they're going to see, wait a minute, they went from that to this. They went through this and now they're that. Like, it's like almost like they respect you more because they know that you weren't bitter based off of what you had to go through. You could have been a bitter Betty, a bitter Ben. You could have been bitter, but you didn't. You used all of that to catapult you to the top. And those are the stories I like to see and hear. People who chose to go the other route, you know, who didn't soak in their sorrow and try to get their lick back. Because like we always say, karma is patient. Karma is a patient MFer. Real estate from the project.
I saw that.
That's okay. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with the PJs. Ain't nothing wrong with the PJs. Ain't nothing wrong with the PJs. Nothing at all. So yeah, so I love that. So guys, just to kind of circle back to their conversation, please make sure that you are watching your moves closely. You are watching where you stand, who you step to, and what you do. And watch how the doors start to open for you. Watch how money starts to flow, and watch how clarity starts to hit you out of nowhere. What, Bestie? What you doing? What you looking up?
Because I had this song when you were saying that, and I was like, "What? Who sings that song?" Because I always think it's Jacqueline Carr, but it's Jessica Reedy. She has a song called "Bitter to Better," and I promise y'all that song is amazing.
I've never heard that. Bitter to better?
Bitter to better. And I'm gonna read you some of the lyrics real quick. And it says, life, it can leave you so bitter, 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 bitter. But you must believe that it gets better, 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 better. It's all right. Dry your eyes, send a prayer to the skies. I know it's hard to fight, but you must believe that it gets better.
I love that.
That's
very motivational.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of song you need to play in the morning time, or even if you feel like you on your last nerve, like playing that song will just remind you that no matter how things are looking right now, it's got to get better. When you hit rock bottom, it can only get better because you really can't go no further than hell unless you go to the Underground Railroad. Like, where else you gonna go? It can't get no worse. It got to get better. So when you feel like you are down to your last nerve, last straw, last dollar, last whatever, like it has to get better. I love that, from bitter to better.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that. So yeah, guys, make sure you always remember you are never stuck. You are never stuck or trapped. You are being recentered. Spirit just had to get your attention. And sometimes the only way to get your attention is to take away the distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit had to recenter you by taking away your distractions. So thank you, B, for that message that we did not know we needed. You ate and left no crumbs as per usual. As I said earlier, guys, if you want to book that one-on-one session with B, that one-on-one private Ask B, please make sure that you hit his DM. He will be tagged in the video when I upload it. And thank you guys for being patient with me after I upload the videos. Sometimes it takes days to upload. My storage is completely full because I'm always editing reels and videos and whatnot. So sometimes it takes days to upload the video. Tonight, I'm just going to do a lot of editing to make sure that it gets uploaded today, hopefully within the next 2 hours. So let's go ahead and wrap up tonight's session so I can start editing it and get it out to you guys, and you guys can share it, like, comment, almost said subscribe. This is not YouTube. So, right. And thank you guys for being on with us. We appreciate every single one of you guys. We appreciate, love, and value you all. You guys know we do this every Tuesday, 11:11 Eastern Standard Time. If you guys do want to be featured on our show, to be a guest, to be a third, just to be shit talking, listen, hit us in the DM and we will really vet you and we'll see where fit in with us. I know whenever I press that live button, it's 5-6 people trying to go live with us, and we don't know who you guys are unless you guys are our regulars. So please, if you guys want to join us, by all means, hit us in the DM and we will, converse about how you can add to the show. All right, so this will conclude tonight's episode of Cards and Conversations. We will see you guys next week. Same time, same place. And just so you guys know, we still got the merch. We know wintertime is wrapping up, but we got I will tag that in the video so you guys can go. We do have short sleeve and tank tops, right, B?
Not tank tops, but short sleeves for sure.
Not tank tops.
But now you can make it a tank top.
We have summer gear.
Okay.
We have summer gear, okay? It's not all winter gear. We have hoodies and we also have summer gear for you as well as the little ones. So I will tag that in the video as well. And we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. Cards and Conversations, where every episode unfolds a deck of intrigue and discussion. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.